Hello, everybody. Welcome to this presentation. My name is Karina, and I work for the admissions office here at Rotterdam School of Management. I'm originally from Mexico, and I came here to study some years ago, and well, now I work here. So this is a panel, so you have the opportunity to ask any questions you may have to our current students. They are all second-year students of the IBA program. And I'm going to ask them to introduce yourself, starting with
Yeah, so I'm Alexander. I'm a second-year IBA student. I'm 90 years old, and I'm here representing VWO, the Dutch high school. I come from Apeldoorn, and I barely had any international background. And I really wanted to, after my bachelor, work in an international company. So that's the main reason why I decided to study IBA.
Hello, everybody. I'm Giacomo. I come from Italy, Milan. And if you have any questions regarding the Italian diploma, then you're free to ask me.
Do we have people from Italy here? Can you raise your hand?
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Kira. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Germany. I grew up in Berlin. And I'm here to represent the German diploma Abitur. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask.
All right, I'm Otto. I'm from Finland, and I have done the International Baccalaureate program, so whatever you have to ask for the IB, I'm here to answer that. I've lived abroad in Prague and England, so kind of have an international background, so if you have some questions regarding that as well, I'm very happy to answer them.
Yes, and remember that we also have many other students at the stand in case your diplomas are not represented or in case you want to talk to someone from other country, etc. So, okay, let's start. Who wants to ask the first question? Okay.
Don't be shy.
So I will start. I will ask the first question. A basic one. Why did you choose Rotterdam School of Management to study business?
Well, I already kind of explained it in my introduction. So I went to the Dutch high school. I lived in a Dutch city. I did Dutch everything, so I didn't have any international experience. However, I was really stoked to do something more international. Like after my bachelor, for example, I like to do a master abroad, or after that even work in an international company. So I really wanted to do something international, and my eye was first on bedrijfskunde, but as you guys know, that's very Dutch. So I looked into international studies, and that's how I find IBA here in Rotterdam. I've also went to Groningen, but when I was in Groningen, I really had like a very Dutch atmosphere. Like everyone spoke English with each other, but everyone was kind of Dutch or German, so it didn't really feel that international. But when I came here for Student for a Day, I met like a bunch of people from all different nationalities, and the teachers came from all over the globe. So that felt like way better, and I felt like in my spot here.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less the same reasons apply to me. I wanted to study in an international environment. And another reason why I decided to come here to RSM, it's also because I believe that RSM bachelor course, it's a really broad course where they teach you a lot of different areas which are in business. Me, when I had to decide which university to go, I still didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. I knew I wanted to study business, but I didn't know what particular field in business, you know. And IBA here in Rotterdam had the international atmosphere, but also it was really interesting because it taught me, it would have enabled me to learn about all the different areas, and so maybe it would have helped me to actually understand what is the favorite area in which I would like to specialize in the next year. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to came here.
Okay, I can also just add to that, that for me also it was the international aspect mostly. When I was in high school, I did a lot of international programs, Model United Nations, Model European Parliament, and I kind of grew into this international mindset, I would say. And then I went to take a gap year after high school, and I realized I don't really want to go back to Germany to study. And then, going to the Netherlands, it's not too far away, but it's still a different atmosphere. And as the others said before, we have over 60 different nationalities in our course, and it really helps you like broaden your horizon even further. And moreover, I want to do management later on, and this is a management school, it's a management program, so I thought that might fit.
Yeah, for me, having lived abroad, it was clear that I wanted to also return abroad. So I was looking at schools from UK and States and a lot of places, and also within Europe, of course, Netherlands. But what actually set Rotterdam apart was, of course, the international aspect, all the others mentioned, but also kind of the value it proposes. So high quality education at an affordable price was something that really mattered to me. So that's why I chose to come here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, who wants to ask a question? There's a question here.
You get a
is
microphone.
coming. Yes.
For the Dutch students, Alexander, I read on the presentation the hour before something about a profielwerkster.
Sorry, can you speak a bit louder?
I think the microphone is not on.
Thank you.
For the Dutch student, Alexander, I read something about the presentation before about a profielwerkster. What did you do?
That's funny. It's a business school and a business program. And for my profielwerkstuk, I started my own web shop. So like I made my own web shop and like selling drones, that kind of stuff. So it was business related. However, I have to say in my motivation letter, I didn't really emphasize that I did that though. More like my ambitions of having my own company later.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
We have another question here. Yes. Yes.
It's a bit more general question, but how early do you have to look for house and where exactly? Because
Okay, how early do you have to look for accommodation?
I can go for this one if you agree. I was living here, the first year I lived here in the campus, so I can tell you about the student accommodation from the university. I lived in Hatta building, which is the building here in campus, and I reserved a room as soon as I could. I remember they opened the applications in by half of April, I think, but I'm not sure. But I can tell you that you're gonna struggle to find a place here at university from the end of June. From the end of June, the rooms are getting less and less and less. So as soon as you know you come here, then I will suggest to find a house as soon as possible.
Yeah, and for Dutch students, I started looking for my place around May, June, when I knew I was getting into IBA. I should do that because during the summer it's really hard to get a room. Like we were hospiteren for like a new woner in my apartment building, and we got like over 70 replies for the room. And like around May or beginning of June, there's only like around 10 applicants. So you have a way better chance of getting a room, and then also the better rooms are available. It means you have to pay like 1 or maybe 2 months extra rent, but consider the search for a room can be hard. It can be worth doing that.
Yes, I guess that is in general in every city here. Well, you have to start early looking for accommodation. Keep in mind that this year, everybody will know whether they are accepted into the program in April. So at the same time, before it was rolling admission, and now it's in April. So we have some reserved rooms here on campus, but they are usually reserved for internationals because, of course, many of them have never been here. So that's why they are reserved for internationals. And for the Dutch, we also make Facebook groups where you can network, and then maybe via other students you can find a house, and then you can also contact them because they will be going on exchange next year. Most of the second year now are going on exchange, and they can help you also with finding a room.
Yeah, and I would also like to emphasize the fact that once you start early, there's a wide variety of choice when it comes to accommodation. There are a lot of different student housing associations, but there are also a lot of different companies that directly kind of propose and sell you student housing. So once you start early, there are a lot of options. So the situation is not as bad as you may think.
Yeah, and wasn't it an RSM alumnus who started this company, and it's a website of when you go on exchange, then you can rent your room. What's the name?
Was it Housing Anywhere?
House Anywhere,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you can also use that website. Okay, another question? Yes.
Yours.
Okay.
What kind of career options do you have after studying IBA?
Sorry?
What kind of career options do you have?
Career options. What kind of career options do you have?
Well, after your bachelor, like for instance, most people here do a master. Since our bachelor is only 3 years, and most often companies look for students who have 4 years of education. But in general, it's basically anything that you could think of business related. So it's consulting, it's finance, it's strategic management, so we also have, as Alexander said, people who want to start their own companies, so entrepreneurship, so anything that's basically related to business.
Yes, and we also have a career services department, and they guide you and help you finding the the right job for you, because they check what your interests are and they coach you. And they also have several workshops that you can attend. And they also have a survey every year in which they ask fresh graduates where are they working, how long it took them to find a job, etc. And this information can be found on the website. Just 2 weeks ago, we got the latest the results of the latest survey. So then you can see which are the top 12 employers of RSM graduates. You will see some very well-known companies there, like PricewaterhouseCoopers, Unilever, Shell, etc. We in the next presentation, Adri will also show that slide. But basically, with business, like they said, you can go in any field of business. Okay. Another. Yes. Okay, we have a question here.
This is for the IB student. What level of maths did you take?
I took higher level first, but then I dropped down to standard level, like many others may have done. Sorry. But yeah, I finished with standard level, and for me, it has been fine.
Oh.
It has been fine. I did quite okay with standard level, so the level of math here has been very manageable.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, and later we will also offer a session, a virtual session about the level of math for different types of diplomas, because we know this is something that worries some of our prospective students, and then you can hear from other students how they felt the level of math. Okay, another question? Yes.
Hello, I'm also doing the IB program, and I have a question about the exams. We are writing it on May. Are we going to be accepted beforehand, so before they see the exams, or afterwards?
So you basically get your offer in April, and then once you've gotten your grades in June, I believe, then they get automatically sent to the university, and then everything gets checked, and you get your final answer after that.
Okay, we have a question here, and we have another question there, so yes. Let's start with whoever gets a microphone first.
Hey guys, what exactly are the do's and don'ts for your CV?
The do's and don'ts for your CV.
Huh.
Well, the CV is something very personal. Do you maybe would like to say something?
Well, personally, I would say that on your CV, also from what we've learned here so far, don't put everything on there. I mean, don't put every single babysitter job or every single, I don't know, bartender job, but put things that, if you did a lot of things that are most relevant probably to your program. And also, like, yeah, try to more explain what you got from it than just, like, putting the things on it. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, and definitely try to show who you are. Because like the school will receive a lot of applications, of course, and a lot of different type of CVs. So you really want to kind of stand out and show who you are, rather than just I did this period, you know.
And if you didn't have like you haven't done a lot of stuff, especially not international, you can also maybe go a bit in depth on the subject you took and explain like what skills you learned and why that's relevant for an international business course.
Okay. Here, we have the microphone.
I'm also doing the IB. I don't know if you did economics.
Yeah, I did. Higher level.
Higher level, yeah, same. But how does it help that much to have economics beforehand?
Yeah, at least for me, it really did. Because you kind of know the concepts, you just go deeper into them.
Okay.
So kind of knowing the basic idea of the concept, like economics, really does help in the beginning. But then with the kind of level of maths you require and with all the other skills you require, you will just go much deeper. But especially the beginning will be much easier.
Okay. And depending on the level,
yep.
I mean, does math and economics really, like, I don't know what to explain, but I'm doing economics and I'm not that good at it.
Okay.
But is it Dutch much harder than what we do in higher level calculations and those kind of things, or is it just more concepts?
Yeah, definitely it is harder. I mean, it's of course the next level when you go deeper. But also, I mean, the amount of work you will put in and also the amount of teaching and the quality of teaching you get really helps you with the work. So as long as you do the work given, it's very manageable. And I'm sure with however you're doing now, I'm sure you will do fine as long as you keep on working. That's how I see it.
Okay. Who has the microphone? Yes, this side.
I know that in Maastricht they have the problem-based learning approach, and do they have a similar program here, or just usually lectures? And what does a typical week look like when studying here?
Maastricht.
We don't have the problem-based learning concept in use right here. There is another kind of faculty that does it here. But we have more big lectures where you learn the concepts and you kind of recap what you've already read at home. And then we have workshops where you go into the exercises and really learn the skills for you. And if you have questions, you can also kind of make sure that you know the material by heart. So that's the kind of two-way working method we use.
Yeah, and to add to that, we also have, as explained in previous presentation and the one afterwards, we have the SBP, that's a strategic business plan, and here we apply the knowledge and stuff we learn on a real-life company. Like a company, you have to go there, do interviews, analyze it. So like that's very practical. And yeah, also as Otto said, the workshops are highly interactive. And besides that, we also have kind of extra stuff on the university. For example, case studies, and here you can sign up for, and then you actually do real cases from companies like they do in Maastricht.
But yeah, just to like what the typical weeks look like. It's mainly you have like 15 hours of class approximately every week, and then the bigger parts, so like another like 20 to 25 hours of self-study. So it's really based on like you studying for yourself, but also you learning how to manage your time best, which
And
helps me a lot.
Also the assignments. We have a lot of assignments for different subjects, and by assignments it's a lot of group work. You're assigned to a group and you have to do an assignment with this group, and it's really nice, especially at the beginning, because you also get to meet more people, and it helps you also by programming your study.
What percentage would you give to teamwork?
Teamwork?
Yes. What percentage to classes? What percentage of teamwork?
30, 40?
So 40 teamwork.
30, yeah, more 30 than 40, yeah.
Yeah,
And then self-study?
Ooh, that's a lot. It's so different compared to high school. Like, you don't even have to show up for lectures because they're not mandatory. Only in the workshops they keep track of that. So you really need discipline and like kind of be good at planning, because you need to keep track of the study and the information yourself. Like, there's not going to be a teacher who's going to be like, hey, you didn't do your work, punishment or something. So.
And how did you manage that? Like, how did you get this?
I might not be a prime example of this. But in the beginning, just test the waters, kind of. Go to every lecture, try to keep up with the work, and then do the first exam, see how your grades turn out, and see if you can do it by yourself. I noticed for myself that especially the lectures is just mostly a recap and a summary of what you were supposed to read. So I rather study it myself, do it at home. Yeah, but the workshops are really useful, for sure.
And I think it also depends on the subject, also with teamwork or like assignments. There are some trimesters where we don't really have any assignments, and then there are others where you have a lot, like we have at the moment. And yeah, so just like see for yourself. And also same with like books or with a summary. First go for the books and see if it helps you. And if you later on realize that maybe it's not that useful, you can still opt for the summaries and extend your knowledge with that.
Okay. Okay, yes.
Where else did you apply?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like when or where?
Yeah, where? To
Where?
which other
well,
university?
yeah. Well, for me, I applied to the UK as well, but this was the only Dutch school I applied to, so all in total 6 schools. But UK, I was going for work and also the other big business schools. So, but this ended up for me being the best choice. So.
Yeah, I also applied to the UK. I ended up not deciding for a school there because of the price, actually. And yeah, this was also my only Dutch school then.
Me, I applied, being from Milan, I applied in Bocconi. I got an offer, but I rejected because I wanted to go away from my town. I wanted to study in another place. I applied here to Rotterdam. I came here to Rotterdam, obviously, and also to Barcelona, Izade. And I got an offer there, but I didn't go there.
Yeah, and I took quite a risk. Right before the deadline of 1 May in my period, which is now 15th January, I kind of applied right before the deadline, and I didn't know if I would accept it, yes or no, because IBA was the only study I applied to. So it was kind of, if it didn't get accepted, I would take a gap year, I guess.
Okay, another question here.
I have applied for the student for a day, but my question was if all the days are the same, because there are pretty much. But is it worth to apply to or will you just hear exactly
no,
the same?
it's all really similar. Like we also do the student for a day thing. So if you go there, apply for those, you have a chance of getting one of us. And they're all similar. Only like everyone gives like their personal touch to it. So because we kind of explain our own experiences as well.
Yeah.
So it's unnecessary to apply for two, because basically the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, there, the microphone.
Yes, I have a quick question, and hopefully the faculty is not here, but what would you say is the quality of the teachers here? Are they charismatic, fun?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Well, I think what stands out most with the professors here, with all of them, is they're really knowledgeable. It can also be seen that it's like a research university, so the teachers really know what they're talking about, and if you have any questions, they're like more than capable of answering that. And apart from that, they're also approachable. They all have office hours, so whenever you have another question because you need to follow up or anything, there's always at least 1 or 2 hours a week where you can go to their office, additionally to the lectures.
Yeah, and I would definitely add the international aspect. I mean, being good at what you do is one thing, but also kind of having the wider view really helps for us, because that's what we're here to kind of look for. So when the teachers come from abroad as well, they kind of understand what we're going for as well better. So that's something I really value.
Okay, we have another question here.
Thank you. I have two little questions. First is, what are actually the requirements for IBE to get into this course? And I also have a question, do you have any subjects which relate to sales and marketing as part of the curriculum?
So,
I only heard the first question. Sorry, my ears are a bit blocked. But the requirements are 33 points, so 30 times 6 from, 30 times 6. 6 times 5 from your normal subjects, and then PE and TOK. And, well, math should be at least 5 from standard level.
Yes,
and
on the
what
website.
Was the second question?
On the website, we have a list of diplomas with the admission requirements for each of them. And the second question was about marketing,
marketing and sales.
Whether that's in the program, marketing and sales.
Yeah. I mean, you have focus on marketing in a lot of different subjects, but we also have a marketing course coming up, which is more directed towards that. So, yeah, it's definitely included in the course.
And there's also a minor, right?
Yeah.
Neuromarketing that you can take in the third year.
Apparently.
Yeah, no, there is.
Well, because they are second-year students.
Yeah, so we haven't had the subject marketing either, so I can't really say anything about that.
No, it's something at the minors to mention. You can already do a minor, so it's basically like a course to like look more into a different field. You can already do that during your second year, and yeah, there are like a lot of minors on anything basically. Entrepreneurship, if you want to look more into that, marketing, consulting, or like learning from big data if you're like more into the coding field. Yeah, so basically gives you a good chance to like already explore another field more.
Okay, thank you. Another question here.
What are RSM's core values for you?
That's a very, very good question.
I think for me personally, it's that I have the chance to actually have an impact here. So I'm board of the student representation here, and I'm also in different committees which assess the quality basically of our university. I think that's what values to me the most, that my voice is being heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for me it's definitely the kind of that they really drive the international aspect, and they really kind of care for the international student body. So they try to bring out the international aspect you have and really try to make you kind of share that with others, and also for others to share it with you. And then at the same time you're learning from the others and they're learning from you. So that's something for me is a really core value.
I would also add that maybe it's stupid to say, but each time I come here to RSM, maybe for a lecture, and each time I go home, every day I feel like if I am a bit better. I feel that this place really empowers the people. Just by being here, coming to the lectures, meeting the people, talk with them, then when I go home, I always feel that I'm a bit better. Yeah.
And maybe not really core value, but what I really like about RSM here is I'm a Dutch person, you know, as I told you already, I have a Dutch friend, a whole Dutch life at home. But here I actually barely hang out with Dutch people. Like my friend group is really national to say. We barely have anyone from the same nationality, and it's so cool that you actually meet and hang out with people from like South Korea, Portugal, Scandinavia, America. And you know, it also gives like a really different view on how you look at those people, because also the culture difference is part of this. For example, at assignments, like we Dutch people are known to be very direct, and I've heard it a lot, but I actually experience now myself at assignments, because if you give a really direct opinion, some coaches can take that as like an insult. So that's really cool stuff you learn here.
And could you tell me a little bit about your favorite class here?
Favorite class? For me, this might be an unpopular opinion among other students, but I really like operations management, which was, it's kind of a supply chain management, calculations, and optimizing processes. So for me, it was interesting because it was very practical, it was very direct, and it was a very kind of engaging course for me. But there were many other good ones, so maybe someone else.
I actually agree on the operations management one. But apart from that, I also really like the skills courses, especially IT in the first year. I enjoyed it that much that now I'm a TA for it, like a teaching assistant, and teach the other students. And yeah, basically all the quantitative subjects are like what I'm more interested in, I would say. What I enjoyed most.
I would say organizational behavior, which is in the first trimester of the first year. So if you come here next year, it will be one of the first one you do. And basically, it's about understanding the behavior of people inside of the company. So, you know, I'm more a people person rather than a calculation guy. So I really loved it. Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah, and to like give a different example, I really liked EBC, which is effective business communication. And this is really workshop-based. You're like with a really small group of students. You're like with 10, 15 people, I guess. And it's really interactive. And what they basically teach you there is, you know, how to do interviews, how to do presentation, how to like, you know, everything which comes to presentation and communicating with different cultures as well. And it's really cool because for my workshop teacher, it wasn't actually someone who was a professor here, but it was someone from a real company who trains like at Unilever, Shell, those kind of companies. Like he gives the same workshops to like adults in like real companies. So that's really cool to see this practical approach here at the uni.
Okay, thank you. The microphone is, yes, here.
Hi. So you said the IB requirement is 33 points.
Yep.
And that's with 3 points for TOK and the extended essay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but we're applying with the December report cards, right?
Yeah.
But in that report card, it doesn't say how many points we got, so how does that work?
Well, you apply with your IB1 grades, first of all, and then also your kind of predicted grades. So your teachers will predict you some grades for those TOK and extended essay, but mainly it's the kind of 30 points altogether from 6 subjects. And also, I mean, you might get 33 points without EE and TOK, so we don't require 3 points from EE and TOK, so don't worry about that.
So it's the combination between the December exams and the prediction of the TOK?
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
And then one more question. What kind of internships does the Erasmus University offer students here?
Yeah, I mean, the Career Services Center really helps you find internships. So a lot of those are with Dutch companies in international positions. So it might be in finance, it might be in human resources, it might be in marketing. But there are a lot with Dutch companies. But when it comes to internships, kind of being proactive and really going for them yourselves is the key thing to do. So really just looking for what you want and applying. Then the Career Services can help you with your CV. They can help you with the application.
And have you guys done any of the internships yet, or does
well, me personally, I did one in merchant banking, and then I did one in business development. So kind of different fields, but I also wanted to kind of see both areas of business. So yeah.
Yeah, I took a gap year, and during that time, I didn't just chill. I was working and doing an internship as well. But we have in the third year, we have like a period of like basically a bit longer than a trimester where you can either go on exchange or do an internship, and I'm going to go for an internship again. So, yeah.
Yeah, me any internship yet, but next year I think that I'm gonna go for an internship rather than an exchange, because usually you go for an exchange when you never lived another place, so you have to show your employer that you're able to be flexible and go to another country. But I'm already studying here and I come from another nation, so I don't think I have to do that. So I'd rather go for an internship. Yeah.
I haven't done an internship either, and what he actually said, for me it's the other way around. I'm Dutch, so I'm studying in my own country, and I really want to go for an exchange next year. But in addition to what Otto said, you also have like a student association, which is called STAR, and they organize like events like the STAR Management Week, and also something about recruitment platform. And through this you can also apply, and then you can like set up meetings with like recruiters from Google and Shell and those kind of companies, and it is really accessible, like everyone can do that. So also STAR and other stuff outside the university really helps like with getting in touch with companies.
Yeah, and we have a job board, and on a daily basis we receive internships from companies not only here in the Netherlands but from all over the world, like Hong Kong, Hong Kong, Latin America, the US, etc. So you can have a look at it at our website. Okay, another question. Here, yes.
I have two questions. The first question is, I'm from a regular VWO, so all my classes are in Dutch. Is it for me able to do this study in English, or is it very hard?
I didn't really catch the question.
So, because she studied here in Dutch, all her classes were in Dutch, so she wonders whether she could do IBA in English.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So I did VWO as well, NNT, not two language, so everything was Dutch for me. Yeah, and when I came here, I didn't really have a struggle, to switch around to English. In the beginning, it feels a bit odd, but already after a couple of days, you really get used to speaking English all the time. And as soon as you start on your work, the first couple of chapters you're reading might feel a bit uncomfortable because it's not in your own language, but you make the switch at one point automatically. And I'm at this point now where even start thinking or dreaming in English, not even Dutch anymore. So don't worry about it. It comes very natural.
Yes, and we have also admission requirements. So if you meet the English admission requirements, then that means that you should be okay and should be able to be in an English taught program.
Yes. There was a question here from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. The
Sorry.
panel. She has another.
Okay. Well. Okay, let's finish.
Next one.
Is bedrijfskunde similar to IBA, or is there a big difference?
No, bedrijfskunde and IBA, they are very similar, at least stuff you have to learn and study. However, we have a couple of different subjects. For the third year, this year actually, next trimester, you have something about cross-culture management, and then you learn about how to handle different kind of culture, that kind of stuff. Plus in bedrijfskunde, it's really open. Everyone can apply there, and you practically get in already. IBA is kind of, from my point of view, and it's funny that I'm saying it, but IBA is superior to bedrijfskunde in my opinion.
Yeah, because you get a selection of the people that get in, right?
You get the same qualifications, however you got the whole thing not only in Dutch but also international. And also the exams are exactly the same, but then translated in Dutch. And at bedrijfskunde you still study from Dutch books, from English books, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so the main difference is then the classroom.
Yeah,
right?
so instead of being in an international environment, you're just with a bunch of Dutch people.
And the selection.
There's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong, huh?
And the selection, like Giacomo said, because that is very important.
Yeah.
It's a selection, and we select the students from other countries, so they should be above average and they should have the right motivation. So you will see that as well in the classroom. Okay, the question here. Yes.
So I was wondering for the foreign exchange program on the third year, will you exchange only with partner universities that we saw on the slide, or can you pick another university?
Shall I repeat?
Those are our partner universities, so the exchange is with one of them. Yes. Okay, another.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, I could say something about that, because you also have the option of doing the free mover exchange, where you arrange everything by yourself and pick a university, but then that is also a bit more complicated because you have to make sure that the courses match the ones we have here. and also the level of the school and all types of things. So
Yeah.
it's a bit more complicated. It's possible, but we definitely encourage to go for the partner schools.
And also, if you don't go for a partner school, you have to pay for the tuition fee yourself, because that's the thing with the partner universities, you don't have to pay the tuition fee.
Okay. Yes, question there.
Hi, this is also for the IB student. I was wondering if you feel like the IB program helped you to be fully prepared for the IBA.
I definitely do think so. I definitely do think so. It was also because of the kind of broad nature that I got from IB. So I got the economics, I got the history, and I got the math. So kind of the broad view is already there, and also kind of the critical thinking that you've been taught, and also academic writing. That's something a lot of programs don't have. So I feel like IB actually did really prepare me for university. So.
Thank you.
Yes, and 1/3 of our, is it 1/3 of our IBA students come from the IB diploma, right, Adrian? About, yeah, over 110 students. Yeah.
We have a question.
And the question there, yes.
Hi there. I'm wondering, the world is changing rapidly, and we see climate change, we see food security issues, water issues, and you, as future leaders, are supposed to save the world. To what extent is ecological responsibility or social responsibility part of the program?
Well, first of all, I think it's coming up soon again. There are the Erasmus Sustainability Days, which focus on sustainability, obviously, and so that's one thing. But also we have classes where it's about sustainability, or we have specific lectures, also by guest lecturers who talk about sustainability, and it's becoming a bigger part also of the university. So it's definitely something that I think we're being prepared for as good as it's possible, probably.
Yeah. Last year, the last trimester, we did institutional context,
yeah.
And we had also a number of lectures on CSR, corporate social responsibilities, which were really nice, and yeah, they teach us also to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have like an ecological hub student association here on campus, and that's something you can apply for or join, like besides your IBA study.
Yeah, we have also a whole master called Global Business and Sustainability. So IBA students can continue with that master, and that specifies in sustainability. And we also have a department of sustainability here. Okay, another question here. Yes. Oh, there was no.
No, someone. Sure.
Okay, raise hand. Another question.
No, she's.
There is another here. Okay, let's start with this one. Yes.
You told me about your profile that you did, natuur en techniek. Is it important for IBA what profile you're following now on high school? Because I'm following economie en maatschappij. But do they look at what subjects you did?
Could you please talk a little bit louder?
Put the microphone a little bit closer to him now.
A lot of noise here.
Or scream in it.
Can you please?
You told me you were doing natuur en techniek at high school, but I'm following A&M. Is it important? Like, do they look at what subjects you choose on high school?
No, it's like what's really important for IBA is your mathematical course. Wiskunde B is like it's not mandatory, but it's easier because if you did Wiskunde B, you already covered a lot of subjects you'll do in mathematics in the first part. But it's not really a problem because like I know a bunch of Dutch people in IBA and also in bedrijfskunde who did Wiskunde A, and they come along very well. They only have to put like a little bit more effort in the beginning to catch up, because Wiskunde B already covered all those subjects, and also English, which is mandatory with every VWO package, I think, is really important.
Yeah, okay, because you just said that Wiskunde B is easier when you're doing this, but my school told me in my third year that Wiskunde A is more important because you have kansberekeningen and that kind of stuff.
Well, we don't really do anything with that. As far as I've seen right now with the mathematical subjects, so in the beginning of mathematics, it's a lot about, the finding the x, that kind of stuff, differentiating, primitiveren. And with operation management, it's like something completely different. That's not something is offered in Wiskunde B or A. And as far as I know, we haven't done anything on kansberekening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we are out of time, but if you have more questions, they will be at the stand together with other students. And wait a second, I have 2 announcements. I'll invite you to go to the alumni session because we have an IBA alumnus giving a session now. And we brought a very special guest that you will find when you leave, and that's Erasmus. Thank you very much for coming to this presentation.